Hi there, and welcome to my channel Movie Critic. My name is Avik, and in this channel I would be reviewing movies across regions, genres and languages. I would also be sharing snippets of the movie during the course of this review. A slight disclaimer though, this video does contain spoilers, so if you would like to watch this movie, I suggest you save my video for later. You can always go watch the movie and come back to my video. I would also be leaving time codes in this video so you can navigate to your favorite parts of the video with relative ease. So without further ado, let's get right into it. What happens when you take the movie Taken, some action scenes from Wonder Woman, and add in some horrible acting, script writing, directing, choreography, and basically just toss logic out the window? You get Baghi 3 and an audience reaction that goes something like,
"What the bloody hell was that?
That was such a waste of time."
The bad luck of 2020 basically started with the release of Baghi in the month of March. I'm pretty sure that the moment the Baghi was released, 2020 was like,
it's over. We are screwed.
This particular movie is directed by Ahmed Khan, who is the director, writer, producer and choreographer. Seems he basically listed down his skills kind of like how Joey writes down skills on his resume.
Joey, do you speak French? Tout le more. Blue, blau.
So when I first watched this movie, I just could not make any sense of it whatsoever. If you're fortunate enough to not have seen this movie, let me just spare you the horror.
Oh, thank God.
This movie will basically put you through 2.5 hours of agony that would make you question your life choices and also your taste in movies. So you must be wondering, why am I reviewing this movie?
Ready to sacrifice himself for the greater good."
I'm pretty convinced that the only way you can actually make someone watch this movie.
Stop it, please, I beg you!
So if you haven't watched any of these movies within the Baghi series franchise, let me just give you some high level facts so that you steer clear away from this whole series. The whole kidnapping world has a special liking towards Tiger Shroff in this whole Baghi series franchise. In Baghi 1, his girlfriend was kidnapped. In Baghi 2, his ex-girlfriend's daughter was kidnapped. And in Baghi 3, his brother was kidnapped. If you think that 1, 2 and 3 are a sequel to each other, well, you got another thing coming. But I'll get to that in a bit. If the strings of kidnapping are anything to go by, I would assume that in the future, you would have his parents being kidnapped, followed by his next door neighbor, his neighbor's aunt, the stray dog in his locality, the roadside vendor, and eventually himself. While the exact order of the kidnapping is yet to be finalized, you can surely count on Ahmed Khan to come up with some sort of a whacked up plot altogether. With the background for this particular movie and basically a series out of the way, let's have a look at the cast. For this particular section, we'll start off with the bad guys and then eventually go on to the good guys. Now, when you talk about the bad guys, there are basically two sets of bad guys here. One who works for the other. The first one, his name is IPL. His basic role is kidnapping families from India and sending them to Syria to his boss. Now, while he starts on a negative role, somehow during the course of the movie, the director actually expects us to sympathize with him when he decides to turn over a new leaf.
I'm so damn confused.
When you're actually going to watch this movie, you have to take common sense out of the equation. Next up, we have Abu Jalal, who's basically IPL's boss. He's been portrayed in the movie as a very powerful and a very charismatic kind of a leader.
Al-Quwwa! My brother knows 44 languages. That's why he's Abu Jalal.
This guy is the only saving grace in the movie, provided there is any. So in corporate lingo, Abu Jalal is a very strong personality but an extremely poor judge of character and an human resource head. Now let's say if you were to lead a terror group, hypothetically, you would assume that all the people in your particular group are well trained, sensible and above all loyal. Let's go over Abu Jalal's so-called army.
सैकड़ों टैंक, मिसाइल्स, दर्जनों हेलीकॉप्टर्स और खतरनाक हथियारों के बीच महफूज रहता है ये अबू जलाल काजा.
He leads his army along with his loyal brother.
I'll tell you where your brother's, okay?
Armed gunmen, helicopters, and even tanks. Well, if all else fails, at least there is his underling, IPL.
तुम जानना चाहते थे ना इनके बारे में, मैं बताऊंगा.
Next, we have the female lead, or whatever you want to call that, by the name of Sia, which is played by Shraddha Kapoor. Now, apart from overacting,
अब इस सिचुएशन के गंगाधर में क्या तेरा शक्तिमान घुसा दूं?
she's pretty much invisible. The moment she's off screen, you'll just completely forget about her. I just have one advice for her. If you are forced to enter men's washrooms
पकड़ 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 पकड़ा!
or just running around streets trying to get network coverage,
अरे हफीजा यार ये नेटवर्क हाँ हफीजा तू रुको
please change your network provider.
What an idea, Sarji.
Next, we have the kidnappee, Vikram, which is played by Ritesh Deshmukh. Now, his brief by the director was pretty simple. He just had two things to do. The first thing, be as wimpy as possible.
ये गाड़ेंगे झंडा जो संभाल नहीं सकते डंडा.
And second, whenever you get in trouble, just howl. I mean, shout. Lastly, we have the star of the movie, our protagonist Ronnie, which is played by Tiger Shroff. So he's basically the Bollywood version of Rambo and Jackie Chan, who is blessed with immunity from punches, kicks, leather belts, knives, steel pipes, bombs and missiles.
How is this possible?
After all, can you expect anyone to fight their way through an entire action movie with just a cut on their forehead?
This is blasphemy. This is madness.
Madness. This is
I'll skip over a few parts of this movie. Ronnie and Vikram's father is basically a policeman, and Ronnie keeps getting into fights while Vikram is wimpy. So basically, we'll just call him Wimpy Vikram from now on. So Ronnie basically convinces Wimpy Vikram to join the police force to follow their father's footsteps, who basically died in the line of duty when they were kids. The police force is basically led by this particular character, who's only seen quoting other Bollywood police movies
Dabang, Singham, Simba
and taking snaps.
पर्सनल फोटोग्राफर लेकर आता हूं मैं फोटोग्राफर क्लिक प्लीज फोटो प्लीज
He is very impressed with Wimpy Vikram's crime fighting abilities, by which I mean that he goes into a warehouse with his brother to fight a bunch of bad guys. The entire fighting is done by his brother, while Wimpy Vikram just sits around in a corner flicking the light switch on and off. Before we move on to the next segment of this video, if you're liking it so far, a like would really be appreciated, and also if you'd like to see more content like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. His newfound fame basically takes him to Syria, where he has to bring IPL back to India. Now when he reaches there, he is kidnapped by Abu Jalal's goons, and all of this basically happens while he's on a video call with Ronnie.
don't touch him! Hey! Stop that!
Special mention to the fact that despite being right next door, Vikram's wife is completely oblivious to the entire screaming that is happening in the next room.
विक्रम कौन पता तो सही कौन है?
same as she deaf, you know.
This scene seems awfully familiar.
अगर मेरे भाई को कुछ हुआ ना तो कसम हमारे बाप की तुम्हारे देश को उस दुनिया के नक्शे से मिटा दूंगा. I'll wipe your nation off the goddamn map. Good luck with that.
Well, here's where you have seen it before.
I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
Ronnie and Sia then travel to Syria to bring his brother back. Going back to the Baghi franchise, there's absolutely no way that they're related to each other whatsoever, apart from the fact that they have the same male lead character. To confirm this fact, the girl who is basically there in Baghi 2, his ex-girlfriend, she now performs an item song over here.
Hey, how you doing?
Back to Abu Jalal. He basically forces people into suicide bombing by holding their families hostage. During the course of this movie, IPL suddenly decides to become one of the good guys. Well, that's because Ronnie played a trick in front of Abu Jalal's men and they basically fell for it. IPL is basically pissed off with Abu Jalal and he decides to help Ronnie.
तुम जानना चाहते थे ना इनके बारे में, मैं बताऊंगा.
Even Ronnie's neighbor and his entire family also happens to get kidnapped. A word of caution for you, if you ever come across Ronnie remotely in real life, leave the city. If you become friends with him or become his acquaintance in any way whatsoever, you will end up getting kidnapped. Ronnie's neighbors basically asked to wear a suicide vest and then attack the embassy. And he pretty much goes into the embassy looking like this. Even this security guard who's standing outside the stadium is doing a better job than the people at the embassy. Let alone trying to enter the embassy while clinging onto your overcoat, but you're also sweating so profusely that it looks like you're in the middle of the desert in the summer. Ronnie then eventually fights off with Abu Jalal's army in a series of completely illogical encounters. So I've heard of the phrase, never bring a sword to a gunfight. But in the case of this movie, throw away your gun when challenged seems to be the motto. Abu Jalal's goons can't shoot properly even if their life depended on it. If you're emptying a magazine of bullets, the least that you can do is making sure that at least one bullet will connect.
Are you blind? Are you blind?
Or is that just too much to ask? By the way, this also applies to helicopters and tanks as well. Just to give you a fair bit of comparison, this is what one helicopter is capable of in a Hollywood movie. And now this is what 3 helicopters are capable of in Baghi 3. If you have 3 helicopters and you want to get rid of one guy, just shoot a couple of long range missiles and just get it over with.
What just happened?
Now let's go with the tanks. This is what a tank is capable of in a Hollywood movie. Anything else, you just want to play a game of tag with the main guy. Needless to say, they get taken down too. On to this. Now IPL on the other hand, who basically helps a local thief save a few families, expects us to sympathize with him.
Dude, I don't get it. I don't get it either.
At least that's what the director expects us to do.
What a bunch of crap!
They even give him a send-off in the sunset while wearing glares. Thumbs up scene basically reminds me of the end scene from Terminator 2. Aside from numerous continuity errors that would keep the Amazon Prime team busy for years, and scenes that would make you go,
Wait, what sorcery is this?
Ronnie finally manages to reach his brother. Now in a twist of events, Ronnie gets beaten up and his brother goes berserk. I honestly thought that Wimpy Vikram would be fighting somewhat like this. But let me be honest, it's not a pretty sight to see. Towards the end of the movie, Abu Jalal is dead while Ronnie is impaled with a rod in his stomach. But then, this being a Bollywood movie, you don't expect the lead character to die, otherwise how would you continue with the franchise? To summarize this movie,
I don't know what the that was.
Needless to say, this movie does not even count as a movie if you just want to watch it to while your time away. It seems that everyone who was basically involved in the production of this movie had a lot of time and money on their hands, so they figured, let's just make a movie. Well, that was pretty much the entire motivation behind it. So if you have 2.5 hours to while away and don't want to curse yourself at the end of it, there are plenty of better things to do than watching Baghi 3. If you would like to see firsthand the pitfalls that you should avoid while making a movie, you can definitely go ahead and give this a watch. Towards the end of the movie, you find yourself to be pulling your hair out or basically screaming. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope you liked this video. Is there any other movie that you would like for me to review? If so, feel free to leave them in the comment section. If you like this video, do give a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe icon and also hit on the notification bell so that you're notified anytime I upload more videos. Stay tuned for more content, and in the meanwhile, stay safe and keep smiling.